Hello students, I am Aprajita Singh from Sanskar Global School. Today we will be studying the second chapter from the book Indian Constitution at Work, that is Freedom. Meaning of freedom. Freedom is the absence of any constraint or restrictions. Individuals are said to be free when they are not subject to any external controls and they are able to make independent decisions and act in an autonomous way. Freedom is also about expanding the ability of the people to freely express themselves and develop their potential. A free society is one that enables all its members to develop their potential with minimum social constraints. No individual in a society can hope to enjoy total absence of any kind of restrictions or constraints. In a society, to be free means to reduce or minimize social constraints that limits our ability to make choices freely. Now, what are the sources of the constraints or restrictions? Restrictions on the freedom of an individual may come from domination and external controls. Such restrictions may be imposed on individual by force. The restrictions may even be imposed by the government through laws which embody the power of the government over the people. If it is a democratic form of government, then people could retain some control over their rules. Constraints on freedom may also result from social inequality and extreme economic inequality in a society. Now, the next topic is harm principle. John Stuart Mill, in his essay on liberty called Political Theory, the Harm Principle. In this essay, he distinguishes between self-regarding actions, that is, those actions that have consequences only on the individual and nobody else, and other regarding actions, that is, those actions that have consequences on others or on the society. He said that in self-regarding actions, the state or any other external authority has no business to interfere. But the actions that may harm others must have some external interference. J.S. Mill recommended that for minor harm, there should be social disapproval and not the force of law. People should be ready to tolerate different ways of the life, different points of view, and different interests, so long as these things do not cause harm to the others. But such tolerance need not to be extended to the views and actions which may put people or the society in danger or spread hatred among them. In the constitutional discussions in India, the term used for such justifiable constraint is reasonable constraints. The restrictions may be there, but they must be reasonable, that is, capable of being defended by reason, not excessive, not out of proportion to the actions being restricted, since then it would impinge on the general condition of the freedom in society. So, in this essay, J.S. Mill talked about self-regarding actions and other regarding actions. For self-regarding actions, there should be no external constraint or restrictions, and but for other regarding actions, there must be some external constraint. That external constraint may be social disapproval or forced by law, depending upon the harm that is being given by that action. Now, there are two types of liberty: negative liberty and positive liberty. Negative liberty talks about minimum area of non-interference. In this minimum area of non-interference, an individual would be free to do, be, or become whatever he or she wishes to. This is an area with no external constraint or authority. If the area of minimum interference or no interference is too small, then the human dignity gets compressed. If the area is too large, then the society cannot exist. So, the negative liberty is concerned mainly with explaining the idea of freedom from. This freedom from is freedom from external restrictions. Negative liberty. Negative liberty recognizes that an individual can be free only in a society and not outside it. Hence, it tries to make that society that enables the development of the individual according to their capabilities and the potential. It is concerned with looking at the conditions and the nature of relationship between the individual and the society, and of improving the conditions such that there are fewer restraints to the development of the individual personality. For an individual to develop his or her capability, he must get positive conditions in material, political, and social domains. This positive liberty argues with the idea of freedom too. So, this is all that we have to study in this chapter. Thank you.